ended up not captaining Haaland and ended up scoring 49 points when I could have potentially scored 78. Uh, I also made the mistake of selling Kudus to get Garnacho, and I think in hindsight, thinking about it now, that was actually a silly move because I advised against buying players that were rotation prone, and I went on to get Garnacho, who wasn't as nailed as Kudus, who probably will almost always start all Premier League games for Spurs. But I'm going to put that behind me. Happens to everyone. However, there are certain things I said last game week. I still think they are still very valid. Rotations will still happen. I mean, and let's be honest, game week 14 showed that rotations could happen anytime, especially with the huge amount of fixtures and juggling the Premier League games in such close proximity. Saka and Timber got benched, which was painful for Timber owners because Arsenal went on to keep a clean sheet and White even got an assist. Maybe that would have been Timber getting an assist and have had a monster haul. So it happens. I'm still going to advise that one should be careful not to get rotation prone players, especially in this period of time. There are 5 free transfers coming up in game week 16, which I believe would help with removing players that are probably not guaranteed starters or players that probably their minutes are like at risk. People like Gakpo, Mateta, just any player that might feel like they might not really play a lot of minutes. So let's dive into game week 15 preview. Key players that I still think people should have for game week 15 by now. Thiago got benched, but I believe that was like just because of the slight injury he had in game week 13. He's facing Spurs who always concede to Thiago, an Arsenal defender. It's hard to say which one now because Saliba is still not back, Gabriel is still not back. I still think Timber is still the most nailed, and I think it's an essential most own. And then other players that you need to have. AFCON transfers are coming, and that will help with maybe taking care of players like Umbuemo, Minte, and a couple of players like that might be heading off to AFCON. Salah, inclusive of those players. So you'll be getting 5 free transfers to navigate that issue when it comes along. So hopefully it will come in handy. So I know a lot of us are wondering what to do with Mateta because it's been very frustrating to own. He really gets the chances to score and then somehow just fluffs this line and doesn't score those goals. I believe his best replacements are Thiago, if you don't have him by now, Voltemad, and yes, a surprise player, Isaac. If you look at the next 4, 5, 6, 7 fixtures of Liverpool, they have an amazing run of fixtures against teams that are going to concede, not teams that are very strong defensively. And I think because of his transfer fee, Isaac will definitely play some of these games. Like he would not even play, he would definitely start most of them, except he gets injured, which maybe down makes Eketike a viable option. But for now, I think Isak is a genuine Matata replacement if you have the funds for it. Liverpool really have amazing fixtures, and honestly, I just feel Isak is nailed because of his transfer fee. Um, when you now look at players that are probably a bit less rotation prone, people like Cody Gakpo, if you're looking to replace them, yeah, you can go up to people like Bruno Fernandes or Bruno Guimaraes. Newcastle have amazing fixtures, like up until like game week 22. Like their fixtures are just great. Like just not against teams that are necessarily very strong. I think if you check the fixture difficulty rating, there's no fixture there that's above 3, maybe 1. I think that's the only one I can think of off my head. So you're looking for Gakpo and Mbeumo replacements. You can get Palmer, he's back now, Bruno Guimaraes, and Declan Rice, because I genuinely feel like Arsenal still have great fixtures. Rice is nailed on, he's on set pieces. Occasionally we get the odd assist or goal. So definitely, like, those will even free up funds for you to go up or make changes in your team, like getting the aforementioned Palmer or Phil Foden if you don't have him yet. So also sound out a word of caution on Foden. I know a lot of people have rushed to buy him, but please bear in mind that even he might certainly get a benching I mean, Man City have a fixture against Madrid in the game in the midweek, so it's possible that Foden might not start or might play reduced minutes. So just a word of caution on that. Make sure you have a solid bench this period. This is not the time for you to have 3.9 or 3.8 million assets on your bench who probably never start. You never know when a player will get a full 90 minutes benching. Senesi is back from his suspension, I believe, and likely replacement. I don't see Bournemouth still keeping clean sheets. I've standed on Senesi since game week 6, and they've really just been conceding on and on and on. So looking for Senesi replacements, the obvious person to go to is Daniel Munoz, but he's on 4 yellow cards, and their fixtures are actually very tough, like extremely tough. Like for clean sheets, it's going to be hard for them to see clean sheets. But to more interesting options are Malik Thiaw of Newcastle, because Newcastle have great fixtures from now until like game week 10. Same thing with Dan Bond. Vadio and O'Reilly are also good options, but they are bad for DEFCONs, and Man City always find a way to just concede silly goals. But O'Reilly is really taking up a lot of attacking options. If you watch that game versus Fulham, and even previous games, he was really entering the box. It's in almost like a second striker. Was really talking in and advancing into very good positions in the box. So I think I love his attacking upside, and the future against Sunderland is good. Where I feel like maybe there might be an opportunity to get a clean sheet after all this while, and probably add an attacking return to that. Differential captains for this week are Bruno Fernandes, Voltemad, Gakpo, even though it's rotation prone, and Thiago. Bruno is facing Wolves, who are just terrible all around. They just don't know how to score. They don't know how to keep clean sheets, and they're just a bad side. So definitely, Voldemort is also playing Burnley. He's nailed on, and I don't see him getting too much benchings. Might get reduced minutes, like might get taken off for another player, like maybe Gordon or Barnes, depending on who is starting. So he might get reduced minutes, but I still think against Burnley he will flourish well. And Thiago, second highest goal scorer in the league, penalty merchants, as some people are probably terming him in the FPL community already. I think it's a very great option to own. So yes, those are my differential captains to Haaland this game with. Differential player to own, yes, it might not be nailed on, but Garnacho versus Bournemouth is a good one because Bournemouth are just terrible defensively, and they're just on a very poor run of form. And I expect Chelsea to bounce back from the bad fixture that they had. Tio is also a very good differential defender to own. It's just 2.8% owned, so it's definitely also a viable option. Same goes with Palmer and Bruno Guimaraes. I've touched on Bruno Guimaraes since game week 11, and he has been just delivering the points under the radar. I think now is the time to have him for maybe like a Ismail Assar or Enzo Fernandez or Cody Gakpo. I think going to Bruno Guimaraes is a very good and viable option. He plays in the 10 role for Newcastle. He's nailed on. You really see him get benched, and the fixtures are great for them. Avoid people like Chukwueze. I know you might be tempted to get him because they actually have good fixtures after this game week. Next after the fixture versus Palace, they have good fixtures. I think they are facing Forest, West Ham, and Burnley in their next 3 fixtures after this game week 15. But he's not nailed on, and AFCON is around the corner, so he might not play. So I wouldn't get players like that. So beware of like probably making a transfer in for any players that are going for AFCON, even though you have 5 free transfers to remove them, but still just feels like a waste of transfer when you can buy more players that are optimal. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Follow me on Twitter or X as is known now, at Now's FPL. It's on your screen right now. Please like my videos, share them with friends. I promise you my insights are insightful. I don't just follow the crowd. I don't just do what everyone does. It might bite me like it did this game with, but there's good advice in what I give, because I honestly look at the fixtures. I don't really go along with a lot of XG because I believe the eye test is a better metric. Thank you very much. This is FPL now signing out. Promise you more juicy content, and my content will come in faster as the game weeks come by. Cheers. Have a great weekend, and may our arrows be green.